We have some very, very special guests here today, and I have to say a very big thank you to my guests who, one has flown especially from Denmark to be at this interview, the other gentleman has flown from Hong Kong. Why I'm so grateful is because what the gentleman from Denmark has invented is something that is going to save people a lot of pain relief, and those people that actually are in the ministries of health, they're going to save you a lot of money. The gentleman from Hong Kong is, of course, going to market the product. He's got the job of actually getting this product, which is very, very important to the world. I'm talking about the inventor, director, Mr. John Wetling. Welcome to the program, all the way from Denmark. And I'm talking also to Mr. Matthias Rudolph, CEO of Wetling from Hong Kong. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having us here.
I have to say that we have now many people in Thailand, especially in Thailand, but around the world too, with chronic wounds from diabetes. We have many, many people that are burn victims. And as you know, with either case, you just can't touch the skin. It's so painful. A gentleman who is, I'm told, an architect, but just loves physics, has decided that he could come up with a solution to actually helping people. I think it's better that he explains it. It's technology that I'm not so advanced in. John, tell us all about your invention.
Yes, it's a technology which is based on electrical stimulation. It's based also on a natural process which is ongoing in our body. We transfer a current which is carried by oxygen. Oxygen has an ability to donate electron, and the basic of a current is to move electrons. So by transferring oxygen particles with these extra electrons, we are able to increase the wound healing so fast, and the burn situation where we can reduce pain almost over 1 hour.
So in other words, if some burn victim comes in, within 1 hour, with this particular machine, they can have some relief?
Yes, depending on the size of the wound. We are able to cover an area on approximately 400 square centimeter. But wow. Let us say that we have, you know, a normal burn, which might be a hand or whatever. But if it's going to be bigger, 40, 50, 60% of the body, we might separate the body into sessions, and it might take 5 or 6 hours to do it.
But still within a few hours, you would actually have the patient not experiencing pain?
Yes.
And you'd be able to touch the burn?
Yes. We can actually, after 1 hour, the area where we have been treated, we can actually touch it, and normally there will be no pain. You know, it's very difficult to say that it always will be so within 1 hour, but let us say after the first or 2 sessions, they will be pain-free. And we will even see an extremely fast healing process.
Why your interest in this?
Actually, you're
an architect, you're not a
yes,
doctor.
That's quite funny, but I have always been interested in healing. And I read for years ago about all the problems that there was in healing of chronic wound. And I read the way that they do it, and I find actually out that using electrical stimulation seems to be the best and the fastest way. But the way they do it was not good.
Because the patient still felt the pain?
Yeah, because the patient doing the treatment in the old way, please remember that I say the old way, it's based on a method where you actually put an electrode into the wound bed. This is where the wound is.
When you say an electrode, what do you mean for the people that don't understand?
Yeah, it's an electrode. Let us say it's a needle you put in, and you will put another electrode into the intact skin.
That would really
then,
hurt.
Yes, and then you will transfer the currents between those two. And this technology has been known for approximately 70 years, and there has been written more than 500 scientific articles on it.
But no one's done anything about it.
No, but because of...
Why you?
I have also a certain knowledge in physics, let us say so. So when I read about those problems, I said, why do they not use oxygen? You know, we have lots of oxygen to be used because that is what we are breathing in. We are breathing in nitrogen and oxygen. It's a mix of 80% nitrogen and 20% oxygen. And those two particles are able to donate electrons.
So how does this work? I wonder if you could lift it up to show the camera.
It's worked in the way where we, of course, can control what we are doing here. We are in 100% control when we are touching the panel.
So this comes to the near the body, does it?
No, this area here will then come to the area where we have to treat, and from here we will transfer the charged particles, the oxygen particles, which will then be transferred wireless without touching the wound down to the wound. It's absolutely pain-free, and it will release the pain very fast.
Wow!
But it is a natural process.
And there's no touching or feeling, which means the patient, in fact, is pain-free. Matthias, I suppose that John's probably had the easiest job, has he not? Yeah. You've now got the job of going out and actually getting the hospitals and getting the ministries of health and getting, you know, the doctors and insurance companies, I guess, to all buy in. What are some of the hurdles you're having to overcome?
Yeah, the first thing what we did, of course, is to license the company medically as well as license the product medically. So we are today absolutely CE approved, the company as well as the products. And then from there, we are trying now to enter additional countries. Like we have a license also in Indonesia, and we are in the process of getting licenses in Thailand now, in Iran, in Korea, in Australia, and in other countries as well.
But you're already in Germany, and you're already in Switzerland.
Yes, we are treating already in part of Scandinavia, in Germany, in Switzerland, in Greece. We just started it in Turkey. Okay.
Can we get some statistics from you about, you know, how when we're talking about burn victims, I mean there are many, but when we're talking about chronic wounds, we're talking about, you know, how the increase of diabetes is paramount here, and so there are people with chronic wounds that actually cannot heal, and they may have to have amputations. What you're saying is this can, in 90% of cases, heal the wounds?
We have statistics, roughly 70% success rates. And statistic we can say, based on the Danish statistic, Denmark is a country with 5.5 million people, and the population which has chronic wounds is approximately 60,000. So this percentage in Germany is also, you can say, 3 to 5% of the population is suffering from chronic wounds. The tendency is tremendously increasing. In the United States, approximately 40% of the total wound care market is based on the United States, followed by Japan and Germany as well.
What is what would be the cost to not only the individual, but the cost to the families, the cost to the economy of actually having this unit as opposed to having this long stay in hospital? I mean, there's got to be some great benefits for the ministries of health, the governments.
There is a significant big difference. Let's base it on the burns first. In burns, normally in a degree 2AB burn, normally with 40 to 50%, people are staying minimum 50 days in the hospital. Everything what we have done, we are letting the people out of hospital approximately within 10 days.
That's
if you
remarkable.
It's remarkable for burns, it's remarkable. And if you see the difference in bed times, in medication, the cost savings only on burns is unbelievable high.
Right.
In case of chronic wounds, there are different figures per country of costs, of course. And, but roughly we can say that the costs for chronic wounds is per treatment in average 70 euro. And now you imagine you have a patient which is three times a week coming to a hospital or a clinic. You can calculate by yourself what it means.
Yeah, that's phenomenal. Now, in Thailand, what is the position? Where are we at in Thailand? You're waiting now for the approval by the Ministry of Health?
Yeah, that is absolutely correct. We have it already handed into the committee in Thailand, and we assume within very, very short time we are Thai FDA approved.
What about the doctors? How do you get their buy-in? Because they like patients coming to see them, you know.
Yes, of course. There is, of course, in different countries are different hurdles.
Yes.
So a doctor, of course, we have two systems. One system is the people who are paying a budget in the health.
Yes.
This is the ministry, the government fund. And we have the doctors who are living with these budgets. Yeah?
So you have to address both issues.
We have to address both issues, and therefore insurance companies and also other, let's say, government lists who are reimbursing treatments are very important for us.
So I have to ask you, John, in the design component of working on the electrodes and so on, that is based on your physics ability, your knowledge.
Yes.
Did you actually get someone from outside to do the design of this equipment, or is that the architectural
I
experience?
just told you I'm an architect. So of course I did it myself.
Okay, so if you did the outside, who did the inside?
Oh yeah, that's another point, because I'm not familiated that much with electronics. So of course I have an electronic engineer to do the work for me.
Look,
but otherwise, I'm the one.
Look, again, all I can do is thank you sincerely, both John flying from Denmark today and also Matthias flying from Hong Kong. You've got a great product. You're going to save people a lot of heartache, and the government's a lot of money. So it's a win-win situation. What's next for you? Some other medical invention?
Yeah, no, we are working on some dressing building up. You know, we actually use dressing during the treatment also. So we would like, and of course we are working on bigger product.
Matthias, there's a big challenge ahead of you.
It is, but it's an interesting one.
Very much so. Thank you both for joining us, and again, our sincere appreciation for your joining us on So This is Thailand. It'll coming soon. Just think about how it'll improve life for so many people.